Let's look at some stats, man. Why don't we just get straight to the nitty-gritty? Let's talk about this Texans team first. Now, I got to say, I was pretty impressed with their defense. I thought that they did a good job of keeping our, the star players on offense, especially like through the passing game, pretty quiet. I mean, Mark Andrews only had one reception, which is insane. That's absolutely crazy. One reception for 29 yards. Obviously, it was a clutch catch, and he got a first down and everything. But to keep Mark Andrews to one catch, that is impressive. So the Texans defense actually impressed me quite a bit. Willie Snead was kept quiet, 2 receptions, 29 yards. Miles Boykin was kept quiet, 4 receptions, 38 yards. Hollywood Brown was kept quiet, 5 receptions, 42 yards. So credit does have to be given to this Texans secondary. I've been shitting on this Texans secondary for the longest time. I'm like, they suck, they're trash. But to me, it seems like they have definitely improved. Now, the thing that they couldn't stop was the running game. Now, for the most part, they did a pretty decent job of containing Lamar. You can't lie to that. Because Lamar did have 16 touches or 16 carries for 54 yards. A lot of them were design runs. But for Lamar's standards, that's a pretty pedestrian rushing game for sure. Only 54 yards on 16 carries. So the Texans, it seemed to me like they had this game plan. We're going to sell out to stop Lamar Jackson. That's really all it was. Don't let him pass. Don't let him run. That's what it felt like to me that the game plan was for the Texans. And I think that they executed that. And it's not this that they stopped Lamar, because that's just impossible. But they did keep him to relatively quiet numbers. He had a good game. He was efficient and everything. I'm not sitting here and saying he had a bad game. I mean, he passed 204 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. 18 for 24 was his completion out of attempts. So he didn't have a bad game, but it's not anything to write home about. This wasn't like a Lamar Jackson game we're used to seeing, but he was very efficient, and you like to see that. But the thing that excited me the most was the running backs. Gus, the Bus, absolutely killed it. 10 carries, 73 yards. Mark Ingram absolutely killed it. I think it was a 30-yard run on 4th and 1, that wildcat formation that Mark Ingram ran out of for the touchdown. That was absolutely demoralizing for the Texans defense. That was really the start of the downfall for the Houston Texans yesterday. So Mark Ingram showed up. J.K. Dobbins only had 2 carries, but it went for 48 yards, man. He had that long rush of 24. So, credit to the running backs, man. The Texans just, when it came down to it, when you needed to make a stop, you couldn't do it. You could not do it. That the 4th and 1 as well, it was in our territory, and Lamar Jackson did a quarterback sneak. He tried to get him off sides twice, and then on the 3rd time, they snapped it and went for it, and they probably relaxed a little bit. They probably didn't think we were actually going to go for it, and they did. So I thought that was – I like that call. Not a lot of people like that call, but I thought it was good. So basically what I'm saying is this Ravens team has shown you that they can win in multiple ways, So that's a positive that you got to take out of this game, because this wasn't like our greatest offensive day. It wasn't. Without the defensive touchdown, we don't even put up 30 points. And that's what we're used to putting up now for the Ravens. We're used to putting up at least 30 points every game, which is crazy because we remember a few years ago that wasn't the case. You were lucky to get past 17 at some points. But anyway, so take away the defensive touchdown, we only put up 26 points on offense. And that, for us, is a relatively quiet day. So, again, I thought the Texans did okay. But when they needed to stop the running game in the clutch time, when they needed that, they just couldn't get it. They couldn't stop our running backs. And it shows you that the Ravens are capable of winning games in other ways. They don't just need to rely on Lamar Jackson. And that fact right there should absolutely terrify the league. The fact that the Ravens are able to win in other ways other than just relying on Lamar Jackson. Because, okay, you're going to shut down Mark Andrews. You're going to shut down Hollywood Brown. You're not going to let Lamar, rush out. You're going to contain him all day. That's fine. Let's just hand it off to Gus. Let's hand it off to Ingram. Let's hand it off to JK and see you stop that. So I absolutely love that. And also try to get past our defense, because Marlon Humphrey is going to punch the ball out. Marcus Peters is going to intercept the ball. We're going to make plays at the right time. We're opportunistic. So that should absolutely terrify the league, that we have multiple ways of winning games. It's not only Lamar Jackson. Now, if you're just unable to stop Lamar Jackson, then you're going to have a bad day. You're going to have a real bad day. So, that's one positive that I did take from yesterday's game. That's how I felt about that.